This is Abraham Benson Goldberg for Oyster Chicago, and I'm on a search for kosher and organic, as you know. So I thought I'd start by asking my campus rabbi, Josh Fagelson.
What does kosher do? Well, kosher does a few different things, obviously, and in no particular order. One is it keeps Jews separate, right? Part of being Jewish is being in the world, but not necessarily of the world, right? And we always have practices that enable us to be both partake of the world and at the same time be limited in how we engage with the world. So kashrut on a very practical level means I got limitations on what I can eat, when I can eat it, where I can eat it. So another answer to the values question is then, beyond limitation and beyond also, forming a sense of community among the Jewish community, right? Because if you have particular kosher restaurants or kosher establishments that you frequent, then those become communal centers in a non-Jewish world. But beyond that, we certainly, I think a lot of us believe that there's also an ethical aspect to kashrut.
After hearing this, I went down to Green City Market and I compared it with what Nat Bierke had to say from the Mint Creek Farm.
I've worked for 4 farms in various states since I was about 15. When I moved to Chicago, I wanted to be continuing to do some of the direct marketing farmers relationships that I've always had. In this particular instance, I work for a meat vendor who sells a pasture-raised product, which is kind of has to do with being a shepherd of meat even further beyond just being organic. By having a pasture-raised animal, it demands really a lot of attention to the animal that you're raising, and I want to help him be successful because he's doing a very good thing.
And of late, a lot of people, including myself, have gotten involved in the notion of, that there needs to be sort of a greater infusion of the ethics conversation into kashrut.
Generally, I have worked with only certified organic produce and produce vendors around the country.
Great, thank you. So going off of that, this is my big question is, it seems, some of my research and looking into finding, especially for myself, for my own consumption, grass finished meat, that's a thing that's happening in the East Coast, and it's a thing that's growing there, and it seems like there's almost some resistance here. I got an email from the woman who runs KOL, which is Kosher Organic Living or something like that, who they do that. They provide food in the East Coast, and they're working very hard, and they've been working for some time to establish it here. I interviewed a man today at a farmer's market who said that they're ready if someone will come and do it.
And I imagine on the West Coast also there's probably...
Yes, so what do you think is the resistance? I know this might be a political issue to answer.
I don't know. I mean, the truth is, I don't know enough about the politics here to really to really make an educated claim. I don't know if it's political. I don't know if it's cultural. I don't know if the coasts, tend to be further along sometimes in cultural developments than the Midwest. I do think that there would be, demand.
I thought I'd ask a friend.
I guess I could say that I'm less convinced now than I was then that there is anything specifically wrong with eating meat. I'm much more convinced now than I was then that there's something wrong with eating the type of meat that predominates around here.
Okay. Can you clarify that?
I have developed very, very strong opinions about, I guess, the state of the food industry, and especially the meat supply and particularly our industrial livestock and agriculture.